Okay, good evening, everyone. Yeah, welcome to today's session. And once again, I'm Oluwabukola Oni, one of the NHEF Scholar of 2025, and I'll be moderating today's session. And our speaker for today is Oyedele Philemon, my let me say my co-scholar. Yes, and we also have Happiness here. Happiness Temidayo, she's also an NHF scholar. But our speaker today is Oyedele Philemon, and I'll be reading his bio. So we just get into today's work. So Philemon Oyedele, I'm coming. Philemon Oyedele is an incoming final year student at the University of Ibadan, where he majors in computer science. He currently works at MTN Nigeria's national headquarters as an intern in the Information Technology Division. He is passionate about technology and aspires to become an engineering leader in the future. Apart from being an NHF scholar, he is a DJ Cares scholar, an M10 Foundation scholar, and a Jim Ovia Foundation scholar. Outside work, Philemon plays both the viola and the piano, and he enjoys listening to rich Christian hymns, Southern gospel, and classic music. So, with a round of applause, and we welcome Oyedele Philemon. Hi, Philemon. You have the floor.
Hello, Bukola. Hello, everybody. My name is Philemon. I'm aware that you people cannot react. Me said I cannot react, so I don't know whatever marks and set on this Google Meet. It's fine. Good evening again, everybody. Once again. My name is Philemon, and I'm sure you can hear me. So I want to confirm you can hear me. So for this evening, I've been asked to speak about this particular question and how you guys who are intending applicants for the NHEF 2026 scholars program, how you can go about answering it. And the question is, quote, if selected, how will you apply your new skills and knowledge when you return to school? Unquote, max 150 words. So, how do you go about answering this question? Now, the first thing I want to point out in this particular question, I'll read the question again. How will you apply your new skills and knowledge when you return to school? So, I want to point out that this question is a high leverage one in your as one of your eight respective pieces that are going to be writing. And the question is not asking how ambitious you are or what did you learn explicitly, though that is included, but it is actually asking that how we speaking as maybe as one of the executives at NHA, are we going to see tangible impact when you return back to your school? Like that's the kind of view that you should be looking at. Like think of think of the fact that you're trying to answer the question that is NHF like any NHF, like look at it as you're an applicant, look at it. NHF is asking you that are they going to see tangible, measurable impact when you return back to your school? So um I want you to note three things. The first thing is that you need to be concrete in answering this question. Of course, this also applies to all of your other questions. But the first thing is that you need to be concrete. Like this question, like some individuals agree about answering this question, and they just mention very generic things. They just say something like, "Oh, I hope to give back to the school. I hope to mentor my colleagues." I mean, those are very, very generic things. You want to be concrete. You want to be particular. You want to be specific as much as possible. You want to be explicit in very, very, very comprehensible details. I'll still break this down as I proceed. The second thing I want you to do is that I want it to be campus specific. So what applies to the University of Ibadan may not necessarily apply to the University of Port Harcourt. What applies to the University of Lagos may not apply to what applies to the University of Nigeria and Nsukka. So you have campus peculiarities, and and this is not just about the school. Like, you should look at this on a more granular level. Like look at it from the point of your own department. There are things in your own particular department that you could help. You could help with. You have juniors, right? Like most of you are penalty for it. Some of you are incoming final year students. Like there are some particular gaps you could feel. Oh, do your juniors didn't know how to write a professional CV? When you go to the NHS Scholars Program, for instance, you're going to learn how to write a very, very professional CV. You're going to learn how to interview professionally. You're going to learn how the professional workspace works. You're going to learn about professional ethics. You're going to learn about dining etiquette. You're going to learn about professional networking. Can you say tangibly that all of your juniors need about this thing, and your juniors are currently this thing? Will you? I'm trying to paint like various scenarios for you. The one thing that comes to mind is, oh, maybe like when you come back from the NHS Scholars Program, you're going to organize maybe like a 2 day professional upskilling session. So you're teaching your juniors how to write their CV, how to create a very, very brilliant LinkedIn profile. These are particular things, like, and these are like gaps in your own particular, maybe in your own particular. And for another person, your own scope will be wider. Your own scope may even cover the whole of UI, for instance. Maybe you have maybe through the NHF Scholars Program, you've learned how to strategically apply for some wonderful opportunities, maybe some wonderful internship opportunities. You could maybe liaise or coalesce with maybe the University of Ibadan Student Union body to organize like a free webinar on how to apply for global internships, and that will cut across the whole of the University of Ibadan. And, these are measurable impact. These are tangible things. Not just saying, "Oh, I hope to give back to the society," or "I hope to mentor my community," that kind of thing. So that's what I'm trying to say. That you need to be concrete. You need to be campus specific. And the third thing I want you to keep in mind is you need to show multiplier impact. So multiplier impact is that the NHEF invest into you, and you in return, you're able to like invest in let's say 10, 5, 20 people, as the case may be. And what does that mean? That means the NHEF invested just in you, and you have paid it forward by investing or multiplying that impact, or multiplying that all the resources that the NHEF has provided with you to a much more wider number of people. So again, the three things I want you to keep in mind is you need to be concrete. The second thing is that you need to be campus specific. And the third thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to show multiplier effects or multiplier impact. So let's go over the stuff more details now. Scholar, how many minutes do I have?
Hi Philemon, you actually have 30 minutes. Let me say you have used like 5 minutes now.
Okay, so I have like 20, 25 minutes
25
there.
minutes, yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so now let's get into it. One is how, like, don't let us forget the question, which is, if selected, how will you apply your new skills and knowledge when you return to school? So you can like, if you look at this thing very closely, they are saying, how will you apply your new skills? That means there's an expectation that when you come to the NHF Scholars Program, you're going to live with some set of new skills. You're going to learn some particular things. Now, they're not asking, how will you apply? So I'm just trying to show you. I'm just trying to show you some of the like the particular things, the particular wordings inside this particular question. So the first thing I want to show you is like, what is the NHF actually evaluating? And you can obviously see that they're assessing transfer of learning. Will you actually apply what you've learned? The second thing they are looking at is, will others benefit from your exposure, like leadership potential? And then, of course, like I said before, like the community multiplier effect. Will your campus become better because you became an NHF scholar? So it's not, of course, entails in this question is personal growth, but the focus of this question is about institutional impact. Like you can see, they're saying, how will you apply when you go back to school? So that's like, I want you to, I've mentioned the three things you should keep in mind. Now, I'm telling you what the NHF is actually evaluating. I think from my own, uh, 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 in my own guiding of you guys. So they're assessing transfer of learning, leadership potential, and community multiplier effects. So I'm still going to paint all of these things in a particular scenario. Just stick with me. Now, I also like kind of propose a particular structure that you guys can follow, and it's a very simple formula that you can that captures the essence of the question. So the first thing you can try to look at as you're trying to like answer this question is, okay, of course you don't know yet, but what I want to say now, you don't know yet, but like you can leverage on past scholars experiences. So the first thing I want to talk about is, you must identify the skills you will gain. You don't know the skills you will gain right now, right? Because you've not you've not participated in any scholars program yet, right? But like you can easily know what you gain. Like you can go to like the if you, like on the NHF the advert that was rolled out, you saw things about mentorship, about professional networking, about leadership, all of those things. They may not be as granular as you may need, but you can look at other the past scholars experiences. So for instance, and I'm not like promoting myself. Okay, let me just recommend other people, not myself. But there's a particular scholar, Aliyah Tijani. She literally posted almost every day. There's another person, Evan Tunwashi. Those guys, like they posted, like I also actually posted every day. I just don't want to uh, make it appear as if I'm promoting myself. But like what I'm trying to show you that you can like by looking at those past scholars' experiences, you can look at the skills that they get, you can look at what the you can get a more closer look at what the NHF scholars program actually delivered to them. And by that, you are going to be able to capture a very, very particular scope of what you can anticipate that you're going to learn. And you can now write in a futuristic sense that, oh, this is what you think you're going to gain. Like you believe that, oh, by participating in the or by participating in the NHS Scholars Program, you're going to learn about um, 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 professional ethics, for instance. You're going to learn about how to interview professionally. You're going to learn about internship opportunities. You're going to learn about how to position yourself as a global leader. All of these things, like these are the particular things you need to talk about because like again, you need to have learned something there because they're asking you that how will you apply what you have learned? How will you like transfer the new skills you have gained to others in your school, right? So you must first of all identify the skills that you anticipate you will gain. So maybe as somebody in engineering discipline, maybe it's an internship opportunity for you as maybe landmark. Maybe as somebody in law, it could be an internship opportunity that you're able to get through the NHEF at a tier one law firm. Maybe as an accounting student, maybe there was a session on how to use Excel, marketing Excel professionally. Maybe that's what is going to be a particular core skill that you're going to gain from from the NHS scholar program, and what you'll be paying forward to others, what you'll be teaching others to. So you must like look at what are the potential skills, knowledge, experiences that you think you will gain from the NHF. After you have identified that particular skill or those particular set of skills, then the second framework in my structure that I'm proposing to you is identify a clear campus gap. So, like I said, when you learn, when you look at those things that you think you're going to learn, look at your camp, look at your school, the University of Ibadan, for instance, look at your department, look at the faculty. And many people actually know about these things. Like, because I mean, okay, I don't want to like go into like rabbit holes of another sort of discussion, but like after you've identified the skills that are going to like that you will gain or that you're going to gain, you want to identify a clear campus gap. So this is what you'll be feeling. So you can see how I'm connecting the dots now. Oh, you went to the NHF, you learned one particular thing or or some particular set of things, and now you are potentially, of course, in an anticipatory sense, identifying a clear campus gap. So, like I said in the past, oh, maybe many of your juniors don't even have a CV, or many of your mates don't know about some kind of professional opportunities. Maybe some of them don't even have a LinkedIn profile. All of these kind of things. Like, and I'm just mentioning some very very common things that just comes to mind for various for different people in different tracks, like you have a lot of things. So it's not even necessarily be knowledge, it could be some kind of experience. It could be the luxurious experience, I guess. It could be the people that you're going to meet. Like it could be the conversations that you're going to hear that's going to transform you in a way, and you would like to pay it for. Maybe that will translate into you also paying what we are presently paying for now to other people, maybe to the 2027 NHS Scholar program. Maybe the NHS is going to impact your psyche in a very, very impactful, of course, positive way. And then you are going to commit into like mentoring other people as well to get into the 2027 NHS Scholar program. So you see, it may not necessarily be knowledge, though I think knowledge is much more recommended. It could be some very, very tangible experience. It will be the network of people that you gain through the program that you think you can also pay forward to other people. So I've said that in the four structural framework I'm proposing to you guys to apply, that you should look at a clear, you should be able to identify the skills or the knowledge or the experiences that you would have gained after participating in the NHEF Scholars Program, and then identifying a particular campus gap. Oh, how can you bring that knowledge to your campus? Like, are there gaps? Are there people that don't know about what you know now because you are participating in the NHEF Scholars Program? How can you bring those people to also experience or get in contact with that kind of information that you're also getting? So, like I said, some examples again is some students may lack internship preparation. They may have limited exposure to their accounting, maybe to like investment banking. They may be poor CV or interview readiness, like all those kind of things. When you go to the education program, you're going to learn about all of these things and you can pay it forward to others. And then the third thing is propose a concrete initiative. So now you have to connect the two things together. So you've learned something at the NHS class program. You've identified a way by which you can bring that particular knowledge to your school. Now you have to propose to us what is the concrete initiative? How are you going to best this thing? How are you going to turn this thing from just being an abstract idea to a actual practical implemented initiative? So you can't just tell us that, oh, I'm going to share my knowledge with others. Like, I mean, that's very big. Again, don't forget the three rules I set out in the first sentence. You just have to be concrete. You can't be ambiguous. You can't be vague. You can't be, what's the word now? You can't be is it superficial or what I'm trying to say, you need to get to exact details. Like, you need to tell us how you're going to actually implement all of these things. I'm using us like as though I were an NHEF executive. So look at something like, oh, I'm going to share my knowledge with others. Compare it with, I will organize a 5-day interview preparation bootcamp within my department, leveraging materials I gained from the likes of Mr. Juwon Obaniyi, Mr. Olumide Ajamali, Mrs. Lebari Bukond, and I will also invite other previous scholars to speak and engage with my juniors in the department. I mean, that's like, if you write that, I know that you know exactly what you're talking about. I know that, oh, you've researched about NHF, you've learned about what you will gain from NHF. In fact, you've gone to the extent of learning about the potential speakers that will address all of these kind of things. And then you also have a plan, like you are telling me, oh, a 5-day event with your juniors in your department. You've like, I don't know if you guys are seeing my point, but like, that's exactly what you want to aim at. That's exactly what you want to do. Now, this is actually an additional, if you can add it, it's actually nice. But like this first three I've mentioned are like the parts, or should be at the parts, or at the core of your answer. And the fourth thing I want to say is that you try to show sustainability. So you don't want just your initiative to just die on you. Like, how will that initiative, how will it persist? How will it survive the test of time? So, like I said again, this is just if you can look at ways by which you can implement this, all well and good. But if not, not definitely necessary, because some set of scholars are going to come after you and they're also going to pay it forward. Uh, but like, if you can show sustainability. Oh, you are going to make sure that within your department there's always, and this is a very good thing to do. Like, maybe within your department, you're going to ensure that there's a continual pipeline of your juniors that will always get into the NHS Scholars Program year after year, by making sure that everyone that, of course, gets into the program tries and strives to mentor others, and you have this continual cycle of scholars always from maybe like accounting and do have accounting, like civil engineering departments, like that kind of thing. So that means you're also thinking about the future. You're thinking about how your plans can be sustainable. But this is just like an added bonus if you can, sure. Okay. So so I've given you like the exact structure that I would recommend for you guys to answer the question. So just to recap, I've said that I've said that you need to keep three things in mind. You need to be concrete, you need to be campus specific, and you need to show multiplier impact. And then I told you that the best way to answer this from the lens of what NHEF is actually evaluating is that you should answer the question by identifying the skills that you would gain in the first instance, then identifying a clear campus gap, and then proposing a concrete initiative of bringing or of bridging that particular campus gap through the skills with gained from the NHEF Scholars Program. And then, if you can, proposing a sustainable way of maintaining your initiative. Okay. So now, having talking about how you guys can answer the prompts, now let's look at what a weak response looks like and what a strong response looks like. So when a particular prospective candidate is asked your as school, if selected, how will you apply your new skills and knowledge when you return to school? So a weak response will look something like this. I intend to mentor my juniors when I get back to the University of Ibadan, and um I'm trying not to be I'm trying to actually be weak in my response. Let me see. I think I prepared something here. Okay, let me just give you pointers. A weak response is generic. In a weak response, um, there's no specific skill mentioned. In a weak response, there's no gap identified. In a weak response, there's no plan. In a weak response, there's no structure. So, I'm trying to see if I can. Um, are you guys still with me? Can somebody unmute?
Hi,
I know
Philemon.
you
We
can't
Yeah, I
hear
can
me.
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Yes,
Okay,
we're still
perfect.
with you.
Thank you. Okay, so this is what like a weak response will look like. So if selected, I will use the knowledge I gain from the NHEF Scholars Program to improve myself and help others around me. I will share what I've learned with my classmates and encourage them to pursue excellence. I believe this experience will shape me into a better leader, and I will continue striving to make a positive impact in my school community. So the casual reader, this may look like a good response. Okay, let me ask, is this a good response or a bad response? No, not good and bad. Is it a weak response or a strong response? Let me hear your thoughts. So what do you think? What do you guys think? Or do you want me to read it again?
Okay,
With all what
Philemon.
I've said, in what a strong response should look like. And okay,
Okay, Philemon. Please, so that it will be orderly, I would prefer if you want to respond, you can just raise up your hand and turn on your mic that way.
okay. Yes. Please, let's raise our hands if you want to answer the question. Let's raise our hands so that we can have an orderly manner. I think that you guys don't want to talk. People should talk now. Nobody wants to talk. Have you guys like have I not been communicating? Why? Okay, you are familiar. You can go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Thank you, Philemon. So I'll just say that that's a very it's basic, it's vague, right? It could be a bit more specific, time bounding, measurable, and all of those other things. So yes.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So now I'll I'll read what a strong response looks like to you now. So if selected, I will apply the financial analysis and sales structuring skills gained from the class of the likes of Mrs. Clay Jemide in the NHS Scholars Program to address the limited exposure to structured problem solving within my department. Upon returning, I plan to launch a bi-weekly case and capital workshop series where students practice real-world business cases and receive peer feedback. I will also collaborate with past NHEF scholars to build a shared resource repository containing CV templates, internship guides, and curated practice materials. Beyond workshops, I intend to mentor at least five 300 level students through a structured semester-long accountability program. My goal is to institutionalize a culture of preparation and excellence that continues beyond my leadership. So, another person apart from Pamela, what do you think about this response? Um, please raise your hands and then I'll give you the go ahead. Shall I be a guy? Guys, you guys should talk. I think I'll call him Justin. Okay, oh, Asin, okay, go on.
The response you just read now is measurable. I like the response because it tells you exactly what the person plans to do. The person is not giving you the person is not giving you future things to do. It's like it's very obvious that they've done their research, they know who is going to speak, they know who is going to speak in the sessions that they are going to pick skills from. They know how they are going to apply it. They know the class of students that their initiative is going to apply to also. And if I were a judge or the person that is selecting people for this program, I would definitely want to know more about this person because they've shown me that they are proactive, they can think ahead, and they have substance that they want to contribute to the program.
Excellent. Since I can't react, I'm not going to clap with my hands. Okay, Justin wants to talk. Okay, Justin, go ahead.
Okay, so what I just want to say is that for instance, if let's say I'm the person that is judging it, I would feel like some of these responses are like I'll first ask myself, are these things even feasible? Like what this person is putting down, is it actually feasible? Because some of those responses may just carry, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do everything. So that's just the thing. So I don't know if we should just keep on putting, I will do this, I will do that, without even actually thinking that okay, is it actually feasible for us to achieve this thing that we're putting that we're going to do.
Brilliant thoughts. Justin, I'm going to address what you raised. Let me hear from you, Shara.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So the second response, it sounded more practical, but the first response was more of theory. I just want to drop something there. But that second response, it gave the impression that the person did a lot of research, the person gave practical ways, identified a specific problem, then gave practical ways in which the problem will be resolved. So in that situation now, a judge we would definitely want to pick the second person over the second response over the first response.
Hmm, hmm. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And exactly what Atinuke said and what Felicia said, that's what you should aim at. That. Now, to address Justin's concern, see what I want to let me tell you about Sylvain. If you actually want to do something, you will do it. Like if you actually commit and see when you get into the NHS class program, in fact, like you, trust me, yeah, you may even do more than you think. Like the way the 2025 NHS class program, like all of us, like after we enter the program, the NHS, I'm sorry, uh, I think I'm rushing. Okay, let me calm down. The 2025 NHS scholars, I'm sure that like many of us are actually if we are not doing even more than like we at least some of us, like some of us are actually doing exactly what we promised that we were going to do. Like all these things that we are doing, like all that we've invested, the time, the resources, like because when we enter the NHS class program, I bet it to you that you even go beyond. You see, you are still like at a particular phase, right? You are in the pre-NHS scholar phase when you are in the actual NHA, when you actually become an NHS scholar, you will be amazed at the sheer amount of things that you believe that you can actually do and that you will actually do. So don't see it as a thing of you think you are looking at it from the lens of maybe you don't know what the NHS class program is actually going to do to you, right? So, but like at any rate, like your aim is to show that this is what it's God willing that you strive to do and you try to implement in your school. Justin, I don't know if that satisfies you.
Yes, that's okay, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So just to round up, I want to like give you guys some pointers to avoid. So number one is avoid abstract. I've already said I've said most of these things, but just to remind you guys as I close, Avoid abstract language. Avoid phrases like, oh, I will give back, I will make impact, I will empower others, I will improve the systems. Like, I mean, you could use them, but like they must be backed by specifics. They must be backed by concise, concrete, particular, granular details. You don't like nobody needs you to tell us that you want to give back. Like, what are you giving back? Tell us the exact thing you want to do. So the thing is about specificity, it's about being particular, it's about conciseness, it's about concreteness, and that's what you want to aim after. And then the second thing is use numbers where possible. So in the strong response I read, I mentioned something like mentor 500 level students, host 4 workshops, launch a semester program, build a 10-page resource archive for applying to the NHEF Scholars Program. You see, there's something about human brain, like numbers increase credibility. Like for the sheer amount of you just mentioning, let's say 7 people, like it gives a kind of each that 7, that means you actually thought about this thing. I don't know if you get it, but like numbers give you a kind of credibility that many words will not suffice to do. And then the third thing is like keep it future oriented. You are not yet an NHS scholar, right? But like you are anticipating and you are trusting that you become one. So you want to say, oh, I will, like I came to, you get. And of course, being future oriented doesn't mean you should not be specific. I mean, align with the NHS ecosystem. Okay, so encourage, um, look at what we have, we 25 NHS scholars are presently doing. Think of how you could actually make it better. You could mention like the things that we've done. You could mention how you are going to build more on it. You could like, I mean, I'm just giving you various ideas. You could just sit down and think about all of these things and telling you, like you're going to come with a very, very strong answer that is actually implemented. Like, of course, don't go and say something. Of course, like I think it's the balance to justice concern. Don't go and mention something you cannot actually like. Don't go and mention. I'm trying not to limit you. Of course, I'm trying my best not to make you understand that many things are actually possible. But at the same time, I'm not encouraging like you uh, putting out invisible things or things that are impractical. Imagine somebody saying they're going to um, what's the word now? Imagine somebody mentioning that they are going to ensure that we at least get 20 NHS scholars from their department every like I mean, are you Okogan? How do you want to get 20 NHS? I mean, it's like it's possible, like it seems overboard. You get 5 is moderate or 10, that kind of thing, but like 20 is already like that's already like 20 over 100. That's already like 20% of the entire cohort from your own single department. I beg now. You get that kind of thing. So I think yeah, my time is up. So just round up again. Note this particular sequence. The skills you anticipate are going to gain from the NHS Scholars Program, the gap in your campus or your department or your faculty, the initiative you are going to propose to address that gap with your gained skill, and then if you can, how you are going to make sure that this your plan is sustainable. My name remains Philemon Oyedele. Thank you, everyone. I'll hand over to my colleague Nicola.
Hi, Philemon. It was a wonderful session. Like you broke everything down, and it was like relatable. We could understand every point of it. And I don't think I need to summarize what Philemon has said throughout today. Even so, he gave a summary of all what he said. So so that we have the session is just for an hour, and I want to like we should maximize our time properly. So I'd like to entertain questions from everyone. So if you have a question, just raise your hand up so we'll be fast away. Okay, Tamilore, I can see your hands up.
Okay. Thank you very much, Philemon. It was a very impactful session. So I just have a question. You mentioned that we should make research on the people we think are or we know are going to come and speak at the NHEF program this year. Although the track I'm applying for is a new track, which is the healthcare track, how do I make research as to that regard?
All right, thank you, Pamela. Healthcare. Okay, so the thing is that for healthcare, I mean, they're still going to like package me like almost all the only place that you're going to break out is because this assessment day that people that are in health that they went downstairs or something somewhere different. I think to go and meet with the doctors. I think the only place that you're going to like they are not going to like be together with people from other countries when you on the Thursday of the NHEF scholar program for 2026, when they are going to have the assessment center, and it's even going to be in the evening, I think. Yeah, it's only in like some particular cases where they just have to address you on like strictly like health related career stuff, or they have health, you can say like doctors, pharmacists, that kind of stuff. And that's always like in fact, it's not only you, people in engineering as well. They have people like engineering professionals that are going to speak to them, people in health, like health professionals are going to speak to them. So I mean everything like this particular concern you have, like it's not necessarily novel. All every other person, like in other crowds, like you all are going to be together, you all are going to have the same set of speakers, like generally speaking, for like I dare say 90% of the entire NHS scholars program. The only place that you're going to have like peculiar speakers tailored to a particular track is when you have like breakout sessions for that are distinctive for a particular track, which in this case is health, for instance, and that's only suited for you. And so what I'm trying to say overall is that like you don't have to bother about that, because the same type of speakers that are going to speak to all other guys are also going to speak to you. You are also going to be together with all of your other colleagues in the same like the same room most of the time. And the only case that you have to have like distinct speakers that are health oriented is when you have some particular breakout sessions or an assessment center or like just few sessions. So I don't know if that helps. So you can as well just go with all of that speakers that other speakers need to have, because all of you are having the same group of speakers, except for those particular scenarios or circumstances. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Philemon, for that response. Do we have more questions? Okay, I can see Juliet's hand up. Hi, Juliet.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks so much, Philemon. Thank you. I really appreciate that session. So, before, like, there was an orientation earlier before the form came out, where they made mention of like star method and some other kind of methods to use to answer interview questions. And they also made mention of like trying to like put our statement down in like percentage format, like trying to make it more structured and all. So please, I don't know if you can shed more light on like maybe techniques or strategies that like the STAR method, if you can shed more light on it. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Juliet. Thanks for that question. I think um I think that the particular question you raised is more applicable to when you have like virtual interviews, when you have like so I'm trusting that the person that raised the question of star or like answering things in a specific format will have an eye to when you're having your virtual interviews. So why WHY, why the star format is like strongly recommended is that it gives a kind of framing, the kind of holistic framing to the kind of situational questions that you normally or definitely encounter, I guess, during your virtual interview. So during your virtual interview, which would be something like stage one, maybe like interview round one for the NHEF and interview round two or the final round. So you may have something like tell me about the time exactly. So watch out for questions like tell me about the time. Have you ever like so? Let's say something like tell me about the time when you had um, a difficult coursemate to work with, like, or tell me about the time when you led a project. Answering that question with the star format, like it gives a it's almost like very, very like holistic sense of answering that question because it gives the situation for you to answer. So let me who our reactions are back. So let me answer that question with the staff format. So let me say, so let's say your interview round one, your interviewer asks you, oh, Juliet, tell me about the time when you had a difficult coursemate to work with. So answering the question with star format enables you or gives you the structural framing to answer the question by first of all painting the situation. So if you say, oh, I was in when during my second year in the University of Ibadan, um, so I had a particular we had a particular group project to work in. So that's like the situation. So you first of all giving the background context of what is happening. And then you go on to talk about the task. Our lecturer, Mrs. Oladoshu, or Dr. Oladoshu rather, are giving us a group project to work on, let's say, biochemistry 102 or something like that. Now, that's like the task. And we were to deliver it in, let's say, in 3 days. Now, don't forget the question is that tell me about the time when you had a difficult question so that we don't lose sight of the question. Now, your action now. So your action is, oh, because I knew that I had a difficult course mate, maybe the person does not respond to group chat, the person does not respond to messaging. I made it I ensure that I utilize the particular physical time we had together during class to engage the person and get all the necessary requirements that I needed from them because I knew if I just let them to um, chatting or something like that, they may not respond. So I make sure I maximize the physical time we had during the particular class or something like that to engage them and all of that. Maybe the person still didn't respond. Maybe you went to appropriate quarters. Maybe you reported to your lecturer, that kind of thing. You know, you've painted the strategic action you took, and then talk about the results too as ending. So the result is that because you were able to be following your particular action, you're able to get it, now this is where things get dicey. So some people recommend that we give when you are trying to like give the results, maybe you can give a particular number. So I mean, it doesn't have to be strict, right? But like you could like you all will have to you guys all know mathematics. So let's say somebody like when you are in group project together, the person does not respond, the person does not do anything. And now, because the specific action you took, you engage them physically, you asked for their input, you asked for all the things that they were expected to like deliver as contribution to the project. And then the person was able to like deliver maybe all that like they were supposed to deliver. So you could measure that, you could quantify that if you may, if you like, quantify that maybe you saw like compare maybe you've worked with them in the past and they behaved very, very badly. And now you saw maybe something very tangible. Let's say you saw a 40% increase in participation, in active participation from this individual. I mean, just like you see how that holistic framing works. So you painted the situation, you painted the task, you painted the action you took, and then the particular result that you're able to get from that. But again, this is not necessarily suited to like this particular question we are addressing in this online session. But like I believe that that's why the star format is recommended, and the fact that like I said again that because number gives credibility, right? So that's why we are always encouraged to use numbers if you can to quantify some certain things. But like I think this knowledge is much more useful when you enter your virtual interview rounds for this year's class program. And of course, we have uh, interview. I mean, we have seminars and webinars to enlighten you guys in that regard. Juliet, does that help?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Drop open. Um,
Okay, so do we have more questions? Please, you can unmute yourself or drop the message at the chat box. Ah, no one is raising any question. That means we all understood everything, right? Please drop your emojis if All questions have been answered. If you feel everything is okay. Okay, okay. Oh, Juliet has another question. You can mute yourself.
Just for I don't know if I don't think it's part of like the discussion of today, but it just came across my mind. I think there's a part where we have to put our LinkedIn accounts. Well, I have a LinkedIn account and I don't use it. I'm not very active. So as regards NHEF standards, like what's the expectation for your LinkedIn account? I don't know, is there a certain level of expectation they are expecting? Maybe they scroll through our LinkedIn accounts if possible, like, and see if like what we're applying for aligns with like the activities there. I don't know if it's a criteria because my LinkedIn account is not that active. So you told us to ask the question, so I'm asking that. Yeah.
The question is quite funny. Anyways, but like, um, so okay, let me first of all give you guys a scenario. Do you know how many people are applying to the NHS grant program? At least this year, like we're anticipating that we really like 2,000 applications. Like it is statistically and it is statistically impossible for them to like go through the profile of like 2,000 applicants. Like I don't think I believe they don't do that, right? But like there's a balance to that kind of notion. So the balance to that notion is okay, you are actually competing with like 1,000 plus people, 1,500 people. Like you, you want to just make, you want to do your best to make sure that everything is intact. So, of course, this doesn't mean that you have like 1,000 followers or you have 500, 1 million connections or what have you. But like, you want to make sure that at least things are well in place, things are in order, right? Happiness, you're laughing. So, but I think I can almost say with 100% validity that you don't like go over like all the like bring the profiles of all the applicants. That would be a very stressful thing to do. Like what you want to make sure is that you have an active LinkedIn account and at least when you have a good assurance. You know, like I'm saying this just prescriptively, so again, I'm saying it prescriptively. I'm just prescribing that, like, just make sure that okay, things are like professional, things are sorted. Not, I'm not saying it in a required sense or with a required uh, demanding sense, right? So you just want to make sure that oh, as far as you're concerned, as much as lies in your ability, you want to make sure that everything about you is competitive, everything about you is as professional as possible. So that's the balance to the idea that they're not going to review everybody's LinkedIn profile because you get, so that's just the balance. So you have to balance those two ideas. Okay, happiness.
Yeah, thank you so much, Philemon. So what I would just add is the fact that um, LinkedIn is a very professional space, and everything about NHEF is corporate, is professional. So they want to bring it to your sense that you should have something professional. So I can tell you that some people might not even have a LinkedIn account at all, but because they want to apply for something like NHF, they know they would have to create something. So after your NHF experience, you will now have space to fully minds. Do you understand? You'll be able to maximize that working, every other thing. Even during the training sessions, you'll see the speakers drop their LinkedIn profile and all of those things. So it is just expedient that you have that account. They are not going to monitor if you have the account. They are not going to monitor if you have 1,000 followers, like Philemon mentioned. They just want you to have this consciousness that you're going into a professional and global space. There are certain things you must have. There are certain tools, there are certain platforms you must get familiar with. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Happiness,
Thank you very much.
for speaking more on that question. Okay, so now, do you have more questions? Or let me check the chat box if we have any questions there. Okay, we don't have any question there. Okay, so should we just round it up now? So what I would say is thank you everyone for joining. If you have more questions, please feel free to send it to the group chat and to be addressed by us that way. Thank you so much. Thank you, Philemon. Thank you, Happiness. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm Oluwabukola. Nice having you here. Okay,
Thank
good
you,
night.
Bukola.
Yes, thank you,
Night.
Philemon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.